Here's a breaking news story related to bias about 60 Minutes. And I've said this before, given their influence in our media society, their liberal anti-Trump bias has been as insidious as any other.
Oh, it's more than just anti-Trump.
Yeah.
It's 60 Minutes political
Yeah.
interviews have been pro-Democrat
Yeah,
since at least the Obama era.
Yeah, we all know that. Anyone with eyes and ear know that. And yet 60 Minutes and CBS postures like they're the gold standard. Here's an interview the New York Times did. This is a new, I don't know the number, Sam, but you'll find it. Sherry Redstone did an interview with CBS, with the New York Times rather. And here's what comes out of that piece. The Redstones also worried that Mr. Trump's lawyers could cherry pick raw footage and internal communications and do more damage to CBS News's reputation than any settlement would. This is in the context of CBS settling with Donald Trump, giving him a bunch of money, and it was widely attributed to them wanting to get the merger through so the Redstones could pocket some cash. And the video that was most discussed was an editing of the Kamala Harris interview, which I've said, counter to everything else I've said about this matter, was ridiculous. It's just they edited an interview. There was nothing biased about it. But here's what it says. Ms. Redstone said CBS personnel had told her that on October 23, when Scott Pelley of 60 Minutes interviewed President Biden, the president had seemed drowsy, drowsy, and had to be prodded to answer. She and Tyler, I don't know who Tyler is, someone will tell me, worried that CBS might be accused of editing the interview to consider—
Tyler's her son.
Her son, okay, to conceal Mr. Biden's failings. The case was never as black and white as people assume. So now, of course, Halpern's fifth rule of the media is, or of Washington rather, is anything that's famous for not being released will eventually have to be released. We all now want to see the outtakes from this Biden interview because I bet you that one, contrary to the Harris interview, which was just edited the way magazine pieces are edited, which is to provide clarity. If she gives a rambling answer, they're going to edit it so it's less rambling because it's boring TV to listen to a rambling answer. Whereas it sounds like if what Sherry Redstone is saying is true, this Biden interview was edited as part of the cover-up to make sure people had a limited window into his cognitive decline. So I look forward to seeing the Biden outtakes. Steve, real quick.
Yeah, one quick follow-up, Mark. We have this criticism and concern about bias in the traditional media.
Yeah.
I think who cares about traditional media? I almost dislike the fact that you're always referring to the New York Times, the Washington Post, the this or that. It's like, who cares anymore? Who watches that? Two-way is the new media, in my opinion. And it just to bring Gabe in a sense, who cares what Laura Loomer says? It almost doesn't matter. I mean, I appreciate you're right about it and try to unearth the truth, but I mean, the two-way is the future, I think.
Steve, I appreciate the kind words, and I'll just say the two reasons I care. One is they still have enormous influence, not just in terms of their readership, but people in the government, people in the White House read it, and they have an influence over the Democratic Party that's insidious because it gives Democrats a false sense of what's going on. But the other reason is, I've said this before, we need news organizations in this country with the heft to file Freedom of Information Act requests, to go to court, to send out war correspondence. And the New York Times is one of the few places capable of that. With all due respect to the Free Press and Axios, if there's a war in Afghanistan, they're not sending 10 people. They're just not. So my view is no one's going to start new ones. And so the few we have to try to salvage them. And they have to have credibility to not be liberally biased, but to be all the things they are. The New York Times is a daily miracle. The stuff they publish, forget politics, art, culture, a lot of it's woke and whatever, but some of it is world-class journalism that doesn't exist anyplace else. So
100%.
I want them to fix themselves because we're not getting anybody else. And so the five or so that are remaining, we need.
I look forward to your success in investment fundraising to take the place.
Thank you. Really appreciate you supported Two-Way and your kind words, and grateful to you for being part of it. All right. Want more great clips like that? I've got an idea. Hit the subscribe button, be part of the Two-Way community, never miss a clip, and you can always watch our full episodes, join them live, go to twoway.tv.